We started with $20.
Bullshit. Some people don't like to take responsibility for
I
their own
take
shit.
responsibility.
They blame everything
But
in
why
their
you
life on
sending
somebody
an email
else.
for town card?
Good luck.
Before Uber would take a big bite out of the taxi industry, expand into 70 countries, and build up a net worth of $70 billion. Before expanding its range of services to include UberX, UberEats, UberPool, and my favorite, UberChopper. Who doesn't need that? Like every day. Not me. Before facing massive backlash and criticism over increased prices during disasters, failure to protect the safety and privacy of customers, and having what some called an asshole culture. Now, I'm not calling no one nothing, that was just in my research. In fact, I took an Uber recently, the guy's name was Jerry, and I gave him 5 stars. Uber all started with 2 guys waiting in the snow for a taxi and dreaming of a better way. The company's aggressive core values, like always be hustlin', have been credited for the company's meteoric rise, but have also been a serious source of scandal and bad publicity. The media doesn't paint a very pretty picture, so to give you guys some balance, I checked out Uber's website, where they explain just how world-changing the app really is. For the women and men who drive with Uber, our app represents a flexible new way to earn money. For cities, we help strengthen local economies, improve access to transportation, and make streets a whole lot safer. The website also includes media resources for journalists who want to cover the Uber story. Their press kit included these beautiful stock images of people holding phones or riding in cars. Also, for some weird reason, this brand guide warned us not to put their logo on doormats, napkins, garbage cans, urinals, dartboards, or condoms. It also warns us not to put the logo on food, because, quote, it will be sliced, broken, bitten, and think about what happens after you eat it. I don't know how I would recognize the logo after it's been digested, or who they think is looking at poo, but I'll try to respect their rules moving forward. What's going on, guys? My name is Michael McCrutton, documenting the story of Uber here for you on Before They're Famous. I've covered other companies on this channel in the past, including McDonald's, Google, and YouTube, but you guys let me know who's next in the comments down below.
In the Uber world, you can use your own car. You don't pay $40,000 to rent a vehicle. You make more dollars per hour, and it's flexible. You don't have a shift.
Uber was founded as UberCap in March of 2009 by Garret and Travis Kalanick. Garret is a Canadian businessman and investor who made a massive fortune after co-founding StumbleUpon and selling it to eBay for $75 million.
Always I'm looking for like one simple user action that I think that will do something very useful or very valuable. So I guess with StumbleUpon you were clicking a button and it was showing you a web page, right? And then with Uber, obviously you click and a car comes.
Travis is the American computer programmer and businessman behind a search engine and peer-to-peer file sharing service called Scour, as well as Red Swoosh, another peer-to-peer file sharing company.
Do you ever drive an Uber?
Of course.
What's your rating?
My rating's a 5.0.
Really?
All 5-star rides.
Do you really need the cash? Why are you doing it?
According to Travis, the idea for Uber was Garrett's. One snowy evening back in 2008, the two were in Paris attending the Low Web Technology Conference and having trouble hailing a cab. That's apparently when Garret shared the idea of Uber with Travis.
How much of your original deck or your plan is intact today?
The general idea of kind of, multiple car types and really flexible personal transportation, I think that was really back even in 2008. From the original idea.
Not long before, Garret and a few friends had spent $800 hiring a private driver and had been mulling over ways to bring down the cost on a service like that ever since. Garret figured that you could bring down the price by splitting the cost with lots of people. Like a taxi, but high-end. I guess more like a limo. Travis said of the idea, you get that experience of like, I'm living in the future, I pushed a button and a car rolled up and now I'm a freaking pimp. Garret is the guy who invented that shit. I just want to clap and hug him at the same time. Both Garret and Travis wanted the app to thrive and agreed to invest $200,000 into the idea. They assembled a team to help develop how the app would work. Their think tank included a nuclear physicist, a computational neuroscientist, and a machinery expert to predict demand for private hire cars, drivers, and where demand is highest. What a team. Now, if you've seen any heist movies, you know that all they needed now was a leader. But both Garret and Travis had no real interest in running a limo company. So Travis decided to tweet out, looking for a business development and product badass. A guy named Ryan Graves responded, "Here's a tip," with his email address attached. He came on board as the company's general manager in early 2010. He was soon promoted to CEO after 10 months, and then stepped down to become the company's COO, with Travis taking the reins himself.
I started the company in the end of 2008, pretty much. 2009 was pretty much prototyping it. Travis started part-time. And then Travis took over. I kind of handed the keys to him in 2010.
The first version of Uber was launched in June in San Francisco. It was called Uber Cab, a black car service which allowed users to call a car by pressing a button on a smartphone or sending a text. The price hovered around 150%, the typical cost of a taxi in that city. The app was an instant success among the San Francisco tech elites, and the company was able to raise additional money to expand their range of services into new cities. In 2010, they raised $1.25 million in new funding. The next year, they got an additional $44.5 million and began to expand the company nationwide. By 2012, they were beginning to expand internationally and introduce new services like Uber Garage and UberX. But there were also new competition for the company, with Lyft launched in San Francisco in August of 2012. In 2013, Google Ventures and other invested a grand total of $258 million in the company. And in 2014, they raised another $1.2 billion. By the fall of 2014, Uber had expanded through the US and into Europe, Africa, India, and China, and introduced new services like UberPool and UberFresh. But they were also beginning to receive their first round of criticism. Sarah Lacey penned an article published in Pando Daily on October 22, 2014, in which she criticized Uber's asshole culture. Other outlets were soon picking up the story, with many accusing the company of sexism and fostering cutthroat competition amongst their employees. This image wasn't helped much by the fact that a driver in Delhi allegedly raped a passenger just a couple months after Sarah Lacey first published her article. How awful. And at the time of this recording, Uber continues to have this asshole reputation, with new articles about their culture of aggression being published in 2017, according to a New York Times piece published in February of that year, or this year. Interviews with more than 30 current and former Uber employees, as well as reviews of internal emails, chat logs, and tape-recorded meetings, paint a picture of an often unrestrained workplace culture. One Uber manager groped a female co-worker's breast at a company retreat in Las Vegas. A director shouted a homophobic slur at a subordinate during a heated confrontation in a meeting. Another manager threatened to beat an unperforming employee's head in with a baseball bat. They still made 70 bill. I don't know. A lot of people blame the asshole culture on Travis. He's still Uber's CEO, and he has a bit of a reputation. I'm just saying. Here's a video of him arguing with one of his drivers, published by Bloomberg's YouTube channel just a few weeks back.
Hold on a second. What have I changed about black?
Huh?
What if
you
I
changed
changed-
the whole business.
What?
You dropped the prices.
On black?
Yes, you did. We
Bullshit.
started with $20.
Yeesh. After that video was released, amongst a wave of new sexual harassment allegations, Uber has recently vowed to become a more humane company, which is great.
Uber's there.
Right.
Uber's there to make ends meet for those folks who are maybe finding a transition in their life. Uber's there for folks who need to add a little extra income to their job.
But a ton of other scandals have hurt the company's reputation throughout the year. Their dynamic pricing came under serious fire when prices surged during disasters like Hurricane Sandy, the New York bombing in 2016, and the Sydney hostage crisis.
Okay, if I'm someplace in, say, Australia, and there's a threat of a terrorist attack, why do prices triple? Is that how we should be treating each other?
Travis faced serious criticism for joining President Trump's business advisory group. Uber's been accused of all kinds of aggressive tactics to attack competition and journalists, and they face no shortage of lawsuits and protests. We could talk about all that, but I think we'd have to do that in after they're famous. Plus, I still love using them, so I hope this doesn't get me banned. Despite all the backlash and scandal, today Uber is absolutely thriving.
Uber's 5.5 years old. This year, we're bringing over 1 million drivers on the platform in the US alone, maybe close to 2.
Since 2015, they've been putting focus into new mapping technology and self-driving cars. In September of 2016, they began mapping UK streets to find the best pickup and drop-off points. And in December, they began using self-driving Volvo XC90 SUVs in their hometown of San Francisco.
Now, was autonomous driving in that deck? Did you predict autonomous driving in
that
2008?
that's all Travis. That's all Travis.
In 2016, the company was valued at $66 billion, and the rest of the story, well, we'll have to wait and see, because this is before they're famous. My name is Mike McCracken. Thanks so much for watching this video. I've got 2 more down below. Be sure to check those out, and let us know, as always, who's next in the comments down below. Do you want to see an after they're famous on Uber? Yeah, we can get it done. Bye.
And so the question for a tech company is, do you want to be part of the future, or do you want to resist the future?